The cargo bay of the Zephyrus reeked of ammonia and fear. Akim pressed her palm against the reinforced glass, watching the massive creature thrash in the rapidly filling containment chamber. The lion beast, what the Calvari smugglers had called a Shrex, was magnificent even in its death throes. Its crimson mane floated like blood in water, and its 6 amber eyes rolled with primal terror. "They're really going to drown it," Burke said, his voice tight with barely contained rage. He stood beside her, his reflection ghostly in the observation window. "The Calvari are dumping it because it's too aggressive for their fighting pits." Akim's jaw clenched. The Zephyrus was a salvage vessel, not a rescue ship, but she'd seen enough casual cruelty in the outer systems to last a lifetime. The Calvary had purchased the Shrex from some black market bio-trader, hoping to train it for their arena games. When it proved uncontrollable, they'd decided drowning was more cost-effective than proper euthanasia or release. "Captain won't authorize intervention," Verk continued, his dark eyes fixed on the rising water. "Says it's not our problem. Says we're already behind schedule on the Kepler salvage." The beast slammed against the chamber walls, its roar muffled by the liquid filling its prison. Akim had read about Shrexes in the xenobiology databases. They were apex predators from Thalos 9, a world with gravity 3 times Earth standard. Their bone density was phenomenal, their musculature designed to hunt prey that could crush lesser creatures with a single swipe. They couldn't swim. "How long?" Akim asked. 10 minutes. Maybe less. Verk pulled up a holographic display, his fingers dancing through the data. "The Calvari ship is already breaking orbit. They've disabled the chamber controls and locked us out of the override." Akim's mind raced. The Zephyrus had a small crew, just 12 humans working the salvage routes between Proxima and the Belt. They'd all grown up on Earth or the colonies, places where animals still meant something beyond genetic commodities and entertainment. The Calvari didn't understand that. Most of the galaxy's elder races didn't. "Can you hack it?" she asked. Verk's expression shifted from despair to calculation. "Maybe. The lockout is Calvary military grade, but it's running on our power grid now. If I can isolate the containment-based system from the main network, do it." He didn't ask for permission from the captain. Neither did Akim. That was the thing about humans that confused the other species. They had this stubborn streak, this inability to watch suffering and do nothing, even when it was logical, even when it cost them. Verk's fingers flew across his datapad. Lines of code scrolled past, alien algorithms being dissected and rewritten. Sweat beaded on his forehead. "The water's at 70%. The Shrex is trying to keep its head up, but keep going." The creature's movements were growing sluggish. One of its massive paws scraped against the glass near Akim's hand, claws leaving white scratches in the reinforced material. She could see the intelligence in those 6 eyes, the understanding that death was coming. "Got it," Verk shouted. "I'm rerouting the drain sequence through our environmental systems. Activating now." The water level stopped rising. For a terrible moment, nothing happened. Then, with a mechanical groan, the chamber began to drain. The Shrex convulsed, coughing up liquid, its massive chest heaving as it fought for air. "Akim Verk, what the hell are you doing?" Captain Rodriguez's voice crackled through the comm system. "That chamber is dumping contaminated water into our recyclers." "Sorry, Captain," Akim replied, not sounding sorry at all. "Engineering malfunction. We'll have it sorted soon." The Shrex collapsed onto the chamber floor as the last of the water drained away. Its sides heaved like bellows, and a low rumbling sound emerged from its chest. Not quite a growl, not quite a purr. "Now what?" Verk asked. "We can't keep a 600-kilo apex predator on a salvage ship." Akim watched the creature struggle to its feet, shaking water from its crimson mane. "We're 3 days from the Thalos system. We drop it off on Thalos 9 where it belongs. That's a week off our route. The captain will..." "The captain," came Rodriguez's voice, now softer, "will log it as a necessary detour for humanitarian reasons. And you two are going to spend the next 3 days scrubbing every water recycler on this ship." Akim grinned. "Yes, ma'am." Over the next 72 hours, the Shrex became the Zephyrus's most unusual passenger. They kept it sedated for the first day, then began carefully introducing food through automated systems. Verk, who'd minored in xenobiology before joining salvage crews, monitored its vital signs obsessively. Heart rate stabilizing, he reported on the second day. I think it's figured out we're not trying to hurt it. The Shreks watched them through the observation window, its 6 eyes tracking their movements with eerie intelligence. When Akeem approached the glass, it didn't snarl or charge. It simply sat, regal as any Earth lion, and observed. On the 3rd day, they entered Thalos 9's orbit. The world below was a savage beauty, deep jungles beneath a purple sky, gravity that would crush most species and prey animals the size of Earth elephants. Bringing it to the surface now, Verk announced. They'd rigged a drop pod with the chamber, programmed to release the Shreks in a remote jungle region far from the minimal settlements. As the pod detached and began its descent, Akeem felt an unexpected tightness in her chest. The Shreks would survive now. It would hunt and live and perhaps never think of the small creatures that had saved it from drowning. But they would remember. "Captain," Verk said quietly, "why did you let us do it? The delay, the cost?" Rodriguez appeared in the doorway of the observation deck, her weathered face thoughtful. "Because that's what makes us human, Verk. The galaxy's full of species that conquered the stars through logic and efficiency. We got here through stubbornness and empathy. Sometimes that's inefficient. Sometimes it costs us," she smiled, "but I wouldn't have it any other way." As the Zephyrus broke orbit and returned to its salvage route, Akeem looked back at the green and purple world below. Somewhere down there, a Shreks was running free, returned to the home it should never have been taken from. The galaxy would call them sentimental, inefficient, too emotional for the cold mathematics of space. Let them talk. Humanity had its own way of doing things, and drowning beasts wasn't part of it.